And it's very important that we do an acknowledgement of traditional lands before we continue this presentation. Royal Roads University acknowledges that the campus is located on the traditional lands of the Esquimalt and Zongese ancestors and families who have lived here for thousands of years. This land has been part of the fabric of the life of Indigenous communities long before Hatley Castle was built, and it will be long into the future. It is with gratitude that we now learn and work here for the past, the present, and future of Indigenous and non-Indigenous students, faculty, and staff come together. And today's agenda for our MBA on campus webinar, a welcome and a get to know one another, which we're doing right now. If you haven't commented in the chat yet where in the world you're joining us from, now is the time. Oh, and the weather, of course, too. Put a comment about that. And a brief overview of the Royal Roads University experience, more about the Royal Roads MBA, the application process and requirements, and questions will be answered throughout. So if you have questions, use the chat. You can pop the questions in there. We have a whole enrollment team monitoring the chat to answer the questions, and we'll be answering them throughout the session. So more about Royal Roads and Royal Roads values. It's really important to us that we know people's first name first, and we do our best to learn people's names very, very quickly. And we really believe in learning together forever. So that idea that education doesn't start and stop with the classroom, it's an integrated approach. We understand that we're always learning and we're always growing. And we have a cohort model that mimics that idea of continued learning forever, and also that life is an education. And we show this through our flexible admissions. And we understand that how you get here to Royal Roads is going to be different from how everyone else gets to Royal Roads, and that we take your life experience in many ways as a credential. So we'll talk more about flexible admission and what that looks like, and the idea that our real world classroom, so that what you learn in the classroom today can be applied the very next day in the real world. And there's that integration between real world learning and the classroom. Our location. So we're located in Victoria, BC, British Columbia, Canada. And the closest largest city to Victoria is Vancouver, Canada, and Seattle, which is in the United States. And our top 3 industries in Victoria are advanced technology, tourism and hospitality, and education. And Victoria is a beautiful place to live. I personally have been living here for about 12 years, and it's a wonderful place. There's an amazing culinary scene, lots of amazing cafes and restaurants and places to go. And you don't have to really travel far for surfing or for hiking. And it's a moderate climate, so you can do this all year round, which is amazing. It's a beautiful place. And here's a bit more about our campus. So top left corner is Hatley Castle. You might recognize this from movies like X-Men or Deadpool. So we actually have a castle on campus. And the top right is the Esquimalt Lagoon, which is a beautiful lagoon right beside the ocean. And you can see that as well from our campus. And on the bottom left is Charlie's Trail. That's my personal favorite place on campus to walk around on a lunchtime walk or in between meetings or classes. You can check out the Charlie's Trail. And we're celebrating our 25th year of online learning at Royal Roads University. So it's a pretty exciting year. And so today's webinar is the program launch for the MBA on campus. We have Dr. Charles Krusekopf, he's the MBA program head. We have Andrea Torres, recruitment manager, and my name is Imara Angus, and I'm an education advisor. And I'm very excited to welcome Charles and to take over the rest of the session, and he'll be talking more about the MBA.
Okay, hello and welcome to everyone. I'm Charles Krusekopf, and I'm the program head and a professor in the MBA program and at Royal Roads, teaching international business and international economics, international trade topics at the university. So I teach one course within the MBA program, and then I also lead a number of our international programs. I'll talk about some of the opportunities to visit international places. I take a group of students to Asia each year, or we have another program where you can go to France to study at a Grenoble School of Management in France. So that international area is my area within the program. And I actually have an international background. I have a German name. My family were immigrants to the United States, and then I immigrated from the United States up to Canada myself to work at Royal Roads. And I have a Canadian wife, and I've been here for 17 years and am a Canadian citizen, dual US Canadian citizen. So we have really enjoyed Victoria, and I feel blessed to live on the traditional territories of the Lekwungen and the Esquimalt families, and then also to have been welcomed in Canada. So today's presentation will go through the MBA program on campus. We'll talk about the different elements of the program. Royal Roads has had an MBA program for more than 20 years. Our program in the past has been in a blended format. So we had short residencies where we did 2 or 3 week residencies here in Victoria, and then had an online program. And this was for mid-career professionals, mostly within Canada. We had a few international students, but most of the people participating in the program were working full-time in Canada, and then they participated in our blended program. So Royal Roads was one of the pioneers of this blended online education within Canada, these programs for mid-career professionals. Over the last 7 or 8 years, Royal Roads has added a number of programs, on-campus master's programs, which then in part open up new avenues. Some domestic students, Canadian students, want to study in a full-time program on campus, to live here in beautiful Victoria. And some international students, for visa reasons, for the reasons to want to come to Canada and participate in on-campus programs. So we have another program, the Master of Global Management, that's been running for a number of years. I was the program head for several years for the Master of Global Management program, and then in recent years have been with the MBA. And so we have decided to create an on-campus option for our MBA program together with our blended option. So our blended MBA is quite a popular program. We have over 100 students each year entering our blended MBA program. And now we're going to have one cohort of about 20 to 30 students coming into our on-campus program each year. So our on-campus program will start this year. As you know, there of course is the pandemic, which has disrupted things. We originally wanted to start the program in the fall, but it's creating a lot of problems, not just with, we think by fall, we'll be able to launch some courses on campus. However, it's creating difficulties in travel, it's creating difficulties in planning. So we've decided to push back basically the launch of the on-campus portion of the program to January 2022. And we'll start briefly online in late November and December, just to give you a chance to start to meet your classmates online, to participate in some writing exercises and things to prepare you for the program and prepare you for the courses, which really start in, I think it's January 10th. We'll have orientation and the courses will start on campus in 2022. In the future, we'll be having our intake starting each year in the fall. So we'll have the classes starting on campus each September. But for this offering, it will be starting online at the end of November and on campus in January 2022. So it takes about 18 months to finish our program. That's the same as for our blended program. And so you'll finish the program by summer of 2023. Next slide, please. So this new on-campus full-time study program, you will be in class. You'll have approximately 3 classes per term. So that will be about 9 class hours. There'll be additional teamwork and exercises that you'll be engaged in, while you're on campus. It's considered a full-time on-campus program. For international students, then that meets the requirements to make you eligible to apply for your postgraduate work permit. And so this format, as I say, would involve classes, probably about 3 days, 3 or 4 days a week. You'll have classes on campus for 3 or 4 hours each day on our beautiful campus that you see some pictures here, the castle and other buildings on our beautiful campus on the waterfront here in Victoria. Okay, next slide, please. So in our program, we'll move through 4 on-campus terms where you'll take about 3 courses in each term. These courses and the focus of the program includes a real focus on leadership and management, change management. We know that organizations are going through tremendous change, both in the external environment that they operate in, internal change due to not just the pandemic, but changes in demographics, changes in work styles, and focuses of the companies. And therefore, these issues of leadership and change and strategy, these are core elements within the program. Now, as an MBA, you'll also take courses such as marketing and finance, operations. You'll really see all of the different elements of organizations and companies and really work through the full curriculum of an MBA program. I'll talk more about some of these special aspects of the program, such as we have a couple of different places in the program in which you'll work on live cases together with Canadian companies. And we have a huge range, over 25 different specialization options that you can choose from any of the graduate certificates that Royal Roads offers, plus some additional choices that you have within your specializations. So overall, you do 51 credits. Each course is 3 credits generally. So it's 14 classes, and then you do your organizational management project as well. Okay, next. As I said, so this program is intended for people who have significant work and management experience. So the program entrance requirements include at least 7 years of work experience for those who have their 4-year undergraduate degree. And many of the students have more than that. They have 15 to 20 years of work experience often. The program is really intended for people that already have significant management experience. If you're someone who's fairly recent from undergraduate, you only have 2 or 3 or 4 years of work experience, our Master of Global Management program at Royal Roads requires 2 years or more of work experience and may be an option that you want to look at. This program has a minimum of 7 years of work experience, including at least 3 years in a management role. Why is that important? Because it really creates this element within the program where leadership and management and the cohort of people, the other students in the program, really give you a chance to engage and learn from others and get to know really great examples and techniques and experiences that many of the people in the program have had. So this is where we're looking to help people use their existing management experience so that they can continue to move up in their organizations, or in some cases, people will already be leaders in their organizations. They may be the executive director, the head of the department, and they want to improve their management skills. I know, managing people, working with teams, these are the hardest things in business. Learning those hard skills of engineering and some of the technical things, those are easier skills, but working effectively in the corporate environment, working with people, being a leader, those are the skills that we really emphasize within the program. So you really are able to then as well take your knowledge, take your experience, and use what's being taught in the classroom directly back into what your work will be, the job that you're in, or the job that you aspire to have. So we really focus the program, the instructors, the other students, everyone is very focused, and many of the assignments in the courses allow you to explore using your own personal experience and your own personal knowledge and interest areas to further your skills and knowledge base. And one of the key things in the program is going to be the network of people that you encounter. Next slide, please. Within the program, we have several special elements that are in our MBA program that not all MBA programs have. We do not have an internship. Again, an internship would be for people at a junior level within an organization. They're looking to just gain some experience with an organization. In our program, we have instead what's called an organizational management project. And this is a research project and research experience that you'll have the opportunity to complete for a client company. And we will work with you to help you identify companies and projects that really fit with your background and skills. Imagine it's like you're a consultant who's coming in and working on a problem and making a presentation of a report and potentially a presentation to that company of a special research topic that you've gone through. So through this organizational management project that everyone in the program will engage in, you will have the chance to engage on a special project in an interest area of yours, conduct research, and then create a report based upon that. In our program, as I said, we have a wide range of specializations. The specializations include over 25 different options. We'll talk more about some of those specific options, but many of these specialization options are available to you as professional certifications. You can become a certified project manager, a certified human resources person, a certified executive coach, other areas that are aligned, a certified management consultant, professional certifications that you're allowed to get through your specializations. As I mentioned, there are a number of what we call live business challenges. This is where you and a team, your team from the program that you'll be working with and getting to know of other students, you will work with a client company, and then you'll work on an internal analysis of that company and an external analysis of the company, and then be making a presentation back to the representatives from the company. So this live business challenge is something that occurs in our sort of latter part of the program as a capstone event, where you work with this company client, build up your knowledge base and skills and around their industry area, and then present back to them some options for the company in terms of improving their internal human resources or other practices, or their external markets and marketing strategy process. So that will be a great chance to get to know Canadian companies and engage with them in different functional business areas. Okay, next slide, please. Now, if you see, the title of the program is what we say the MBA in Executive Management. And why this executive management? And the question has come up. Some people ask, well, how is this different than an executive MBA, an EMBA? So this is a full MBA. An executive, an EMBA, is typically for people who are sort of senior corporate leaders. These programs are often very expensive. They're not as academically rigorous and academically involved. They often involve a lot of travel, study tours, networking, different things that are very interesting, but they don't contain the same academic focus and rigor. The students put in a lot less time in those types of EMBA programs than you do in a full MBA. So our program is a full MBA, academic MBA program, but we call it an executive management program because it's relatively rare. As with many of the EMBA programs, we have a high level of work experience and management experience required for people in the program. So it allows you then to gain the feedback, the advice, the support of this key group of other skilled professionals with experience across a wide range of industry areas and experience across a wide range of different organizations and businesses. So this is something that's very important. Our alumni always tell us that this is the most important element in our program, where you build this network, you build this cohort of people that you can work with. And they are often in other areas, other skill and knowledge base. So you may be an expert in operations or in accounting, and you may have a big background and you may be managing that department. As you move up in a company or organization as a manager, you'll have to oversee more aspects of the organization. So it won't be enough that you know the accounting side. You'll need to know the human resources side. You'll need to know the strategy side of the business, the operation side of the business. So what you'll gain is you'll have these courses, you'll have the exposure to that within the program, but you'll also have classmates who have built careers and have significant management experience as HR professionals, human resources professionals, as professionals in accounting or finance, as professionals in operations or in IT. So this network and this cohort of people that you'll work with in the program, and imagine all of them have 10 to 15 years of work experience themselves, you'll be able to draw from that and stay with it. Our students, stay connected as networks and as groups well beyond graduation. So this is something that's very, very important aspect of our program. Next slide, please. So part of what we're going to work very hard on in this program is, successfully connecting people with our group of over 2,000. We have more than 2,000 Royal Roads MBA alumni who are mid-career. They already had 7 to 10 years of work experience when they started in our program. Now they are the senior managers, senior leaders of so many different businesses and organizations across Canada. And so, and around the world. So what we're going to do is match each student coming into the program with an MBA mentor who will be matched based upon your interest areas and who can help sort of guide you and bring you into the Canadian business and organizational environment and help you, give you career support, help you discuss your transitions and work experience and where you want to go within your career. So one thing about our program, it's what we would say a generalist program. It's not a program that's highly specialized. People within the program come from a wide range of organizations. So that includes small businesses, large businesses, but it also includes government organizations, nonprofits, many different levels and types of organizations, universities and academic institutions. So we get a really diverse set of people within the program. It's not just all people who are interested in a career in finance or a career in marketing. It's people who come from management roles across a wide range of different organizations, industries, and what will be so exciting and interesting in this cohort, who come from across the world. In our MGM program, in a typical intake, we have students from 16 different countries involved. So this will be a very global program with a global outlook, and you'll be learning from your classmates and gaining their experience while also being connected into the MBA alumni network and these MBA alumni mentors that students will have. And then we're going to work both through our alumni network and our connections in Victoria, Vancouver, and across Canada and the world, so that you meet, we'll have panels and information sessions with different business leaders talking about current business topics, talking about the future of business, and how to be an effective leader within business. I mentioned we have some specializations, we have some opportunities for study tours through Royal Roads in Asia. We'll be going, taking a group in March to Vietnam and Singapore. We've taken groups to China, to Hong Kong, to Tokyo, Seoul, and other cities in Asia. So we'll have that opportunity, but we're also going to have partnerships with international universities that will allow you, if you're interested, to take some courses abroad at a partner university, and some students from partner universities coming to take courses with us. So it's going to be a very international, a very dynamic program, really, that's going to open up your opportunities around the world. Next slide, please. Within the program, one of the key things we've said is specialization. So everyone in the program will do an organizational management project and will complete a specialization. The specialization options are where we'll have more than 25 graduate certificates offered through Royal Roads that are options for your specializations. So these specialization options span, and I have some examples in a minute, of a wide range of fields, but they're often connected to professional credentials. So for example, as I said, you can become a certified management consultant, or a certified human resources professional, or a certified change management professional. So you can get certifications from the private certificate bodies of these different fields, and achieve that within the context of your MBA. So you'll get both an MBA, a graduate certificate, and potentially a professional credential. So those aspects of our MBA specializations are important. We have a webinar coming up in April that is focused just on, mostly on the specialization aspects of the program, and we'll be talking in more detail about the specializations. But on our next slide, we offer some examples of specializations. So there's a few specializations that are offered, we say, directly by MBA and MBA faculty. So these include management consulting, leadership, and then international business. So these include an international business option to go to France, to the Grenoble School of Management, or to go on a study tour in Asia. And then there are courses that are affiliated with this. In Grenoble, you take courses on innovation in Europe and visit different technology companies and look at innovation networks. When we go to Asia, we visit a wide range of companies, both local companies and Canadian companies operating. We look at supply chains, how supply chains are developed, different issues of innovation and technology, and how it's evolving in these important East Asian markets. Next slide, please. So in addition, we have over 25 RRU graduate certificates, and many of these have professional credentials, as I've mentioned. So some of the graduate certificates, and you can get a full list. I see the link is in the chat on the Royal Roads website, but project management, change management, executive coaching, strategic human resources. There's several in the environment and sustainability field, on climate change, on sustainable community development, corporate social innovation. So there's really a range of these specializations that you'll be able to complete in the latter part of your MBA program at Royal Roads. And you'll be taking those together with students who are completing that specialization, completing that graduate certificate from other programs at Royal Roads and other professionals coming in to do that. So it'll give you an important new network of people as well. Next slide. Now, I mentioned earlier the Master of Global Management, which is the second master's program that Royal Roads offers. MGM, the Master of Global Management, has an on-campus program and has had for more than 5 years. It also has a blended option as well. The MGM program really has a focus more throughout all of its courses, international aspects of business, and it is quite a popular program. It has kind of a lower requirement for business experience of 2 years of work experience minimum, whereas we have the work requirement of 7 years. I'm getting feedback. If you could mute your microphone, please. So it will create somewhat different cohorts. We're going to have just one cohort in the program, in the MBA program, each year. But we have a special arrangement between our MBA and MGM, where you can do what's called a dual degree. And this means that you're able to complete the MBA program, and then you can transfer some of the MBA program over to the MGM program and complete the MGM program in a shorter time period. MGM students or alumni who are interested can do this by taking the MGM program and then transferring some courses into MBA, either the on-campus or the blended program, and completing their MBA in addition to their Master of Global Management at Royal Roads. So if this is something that may be of interest to you, you can contact an RRU admissions advisor. There's a separate admissions process for each of the programs, but you can also indicate an interest in this dual degree if it is something that's of interest to you. It takes, roughly an additional 12 months to complete the second degree, and you can do that second degree together consecutively between take both programs one after the other, or what's more common is you can graduate from one program, work for a couple of years, and then come back and complete the second program. So you would have the option, if you did your MBA with Royal Roads, to then graduate with your MBA. And if you wanted to pursue your MGM a couple of years later, you could come back to Royal Roads and finish your MGM, as I say, in an expedited fashion, because we would recognize some of the credits from MBA in your MGM. Okay, next slide, please. Now I will turn it over to my colleagues from the admissions office on the application process, and I will look through and answer any questions in the chat and be available. We'll have some questions towards the end of the process as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Charles. My name is Andrea, and I'm going to walk you through the application process. Next slide. So Royal Roads, we have two admissions. The first one is admissions, standard admissions, and the second piece will be flexible admissions. However, when you're applying to Royal Roads, you don't need to check one of the other box. The person that is looking through your application will decide if you're an admission, if you're coming through standard admissions or flexible admissions. For standard admissions, we are looking for people that have completed 4 years or comparable undergrad degree from a recognized post-secondary institution. At the same time, we are also looking for at least 7 years of full-time relevant work experience with 3 years at the management level. And we also want an increasing of levels of responsibility. Our MBA application process is a very competitive admission process. Next slide, please. For flexible admissions, for those people that maybe don't have a 4 years of undergrad degree, but on the other hand, they have many, many years of work experience, are those people that are coming through flexible admissions. To be considered a flexible admissions applicant, we are looking for a balance of a combination of work experience, education, and professional development. Applicants must show evidence of having sufficient knowledge, skills, and abilities to complete a demanding academic course or study at a master level, and have a significant business-related experience. Applicants under flexible admissions will normally require at least 10 years of full-time relevant work experience, with 5 years at the management level. And once again, we want to see that increasing levels of responsibility. Next slide. So key dates, our next MBA on campus, the application deadline will be April 30, 2020, and the program will start online in November 29, 2021. And the program on campus will start in January 10, 2022. Next slide. So now the application process. So first, you need to complete an online application. Once you do that first piece, you need to submit the following documents. The first one are official transcripts. For official transcripts, we're looking for any undergrad program that you have been taken. And to be official, they have to be, well, before COVID, they used to come in a sealed envelope, but I know a lot of universities now, they send the documents directly by email to the universities and institutions. The next document is a detailed resume. To be a detailed resume, we understand we're not asking you for a business resume when you're applying to a job that normally is at 2 pages. If you need to have maybe 3 or 4 pages, it's important for you to take the time and the space to complete that resume. In the resume, we are looking for any credit education that you have completed at the undergrad or grad level. We also want to know about your work experience. The work experience is very important that you give us not only the title and the time that you were in each of those roles, but a little description of what kind of responsibilities you had. It's very important that you provide specific examples of your manager experience. Let's say if you have managed budgets, if you have managed people, if you have led our specific projects. It's very important that you give us that detail when you're talking about your work experience. We also want to know, are you part of any associations, affiliations? We want to learn about your volunteer experience. The next document is a personal statement or a statement of intent. I'm a graduate of our MGM, that is the Master of Global Management, and I always tell people it was the personal statement was one of my favorite documents when I applied to Royal Roads, because it gave me the time to slow down, to pause, and really ask myself, why do I want to apply into this program? So basically, we want to learn about your motivation. Why do you want to apply into the MBA program? What is your area expertise? What you are bringing into this program to teach other people? So I believe my colleague Tracy has shared a link in our chat box where you can see in our website all the questions that we're expecting you to respond in that personal statement. The last document are 2 letters of reference. Those letters of reference can be one academic and one professional. However, if you have been out of the school for a long time, you can always submit 2 professional letters. If you feel comfortable, please share your personal statement with those people that are writing those letters, so they have a better understanding of why you're applying to this program, and maybe they can highlight a project or a work relation that you have done in the past or you're currently working together. And the last document is a writing sample. I just want to make a note here for people who have already applied to the program at Royal Roads, such as the MGM, and maybe now you are interested to move into our MBA on campus. Please connect directly with our enrollment team, and they will be able to help you for the additional document that you might need to submit. Next slide. Financial aid. So if you have any questions about financial aid, we have a team at Royal Road that will help you to navigate all your questions, maybe depending on the program, depending where you are coming or where are you from, you might have different options available. So our team are available from Monday to Friday from 8:30 to 4:30. They have an amazing website where you can find a lot of the questions that you might have at this point about awards, scholarships, and other kind of funding. So as I said, I highly recommend to reach out directly to them if you have any questions about financial aid. Next slide, please. And our enrollment services. So you already have the opportunity today to ask some questions to Tracy and Kelsey. So if you want to connect with Tracy's team, if you're a domestic student or a Canadian citizen, please reach out to our enrollment advisors to learn that more at royalroads.ca. If you're an international student, you can reach out to Kelsey and the team that she works with to learn that more, that international at royalroads.ca. If you have any specific questions about the application process, which documents you need to submit. They would be happy to help you to navigate through those questions. And now I would like to pass over my colleague Imara, that is going to help us to navigate the question piece. Thank you, Mara. Thank you, Charles.
Wonderful. Thank you, Andrea, and thank you, Charles. I was keeping an eye on the chat and I could see a question being asked and then I could see an answer come up right afterwards. So now's the time to pose any additional questions that haven't been answered. You can pop them in the chat, but it looks like we're pretty up to date with the questions. Charles, is there anything you'd like to add after reviewing the questions?
No, I mean, the question comes up and people ask about the graduate certificates and tuition. And I know a number of students have asked that. Basically, you either take your graduate certificate. So the price of the MBA program, the tuition amount is always shown for the whole program, which includes one of the graduate certificates that's within the MBA program. If you take another graduate certificate from another department at Royal Roads, then you might pay a separate amount of tuition, but you would then not pay. So say that graduate certificate costs $8,000 within another department, your MBA tuition would be reduced by the same amount. So you would end up paying a very similar amount. So basically, the tuition shown includes the graduate certificate. So that's one question that came up. Another one that came up was around the DBA. Sometimes people are interested in doctorates or PhDs. We've had a number of students. Royal Roads has a Doctorate of Business Administration, a DBA program. So people who have prior master's degrees and a strong research interest can complete a DBA at Royal Roads. And so there's information on the website about our Doctorate of Business Administration program. And a number of the students in that DBA program at Royal Roads have been graduates of this MBA program who have come back to complete their DBA. So yes, this MBA will qualify you and will help prepare you for, future studies such as a PhD or a DBA program for those who might be interested in that. Trying to think what other questions came up. As I've said before, the program is kind of more of a generalist program and a program that's really teaching leadership and management. And what we find, the people in the program work for technology companies or government or banks or for any wide range government. It's a wide range of organizations that people work for. And it's the management and leadership skills. They say when we talk to technology companies, they say, and we're not Royal Roads, and our program doesn't create technologists, programmers, people who can do the more technical pieces on the technology side. What they want or what they need are people who can figure out how can we make a business out of our technology idea. So Victoria has a very strong technology scene. And if you look up Viatech, that's the local sort of technology organization that is leading the way, and is a set of the companies working in the tech field in Victoria. And what they always talk to us about is 80% of our people and 80% of our jobs available are in management positions. We need people who can manage our staff. We need people who can manage the budget. And especially we need people who can help us develop strategy of how we turn our idea into profits and into a business that we can maximize our revenues and sales. So that's the aspects of the MBA program. They're applicable to any field or any area that you're working, but technology is a real interest area in Vancouver. It's very close by. We have close connections there. Those are the types of MBA alumni and business leaders that we want to connect people with in the program as well. So those are some of the aspects. Viatech, yeah, there we go.
And Charles, I know a question that's come up in past webinars and in this one as well is that idea of working at the same time as going to school. And could you talk a bit more about past students' experience with going to school and working and what that looks like?
Well, so we have the blended program where students are generally working full time. That's the design of the program, so that you only have to come on campus for 2 to 3 weeks for a short residency, and then you're taking courses online, and that allows you to work full time. Now, unfortunately for international students in particular, they don't qualify for the work authorization. If you're not already in Canada with work authorization, people prefer to be in an on-campus, face-to-face program that qualifies you for that. Under those circumstances, I think it was put in the chat, you have work authorization for up to 20 hours per week, and your spouse can work, I believe, as well. Not sure about all the rules and regulation, but so you have a certain work authorization. As they say, you're going to have, say, 10 to 15 direct class hours, plus a series of things that you'll be working on while you're in the program. So teamwork, your exercises, the writing that you have to do, the exercises you have to do for the program. I will say many of the students, international students who are in Victoria, are working part-time in different companies and organizations while they're attending school. And you have the ability to do that while you're in the program. So I hope that it addresses, that answer your question, or.
Wonderful, thank you. I'm just looking to see if there's any other questions coming in, and I don't see any other ones. So we're coming up to the end of our session today. And I know that Kelsey and Tracy have shared their contact information for domestic and international enrollment. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. They're very, very helpful in supporting you and connecting you to the right resources. Or if you want to connect with any past alumni of the program, or at least the MBA blended program, they'll be able to connect you. And we're really looking forward to welcoming you to campus in the fall.
Okay. Diane has a question here about the application, specifically about the pre-writing sample and the pre-course. Diane, I was just writing to another applicant just before this webinar, explaining that. So one, we really encourage all people, and I don't know if you've applied to the program and if it's been a condition, but we encourage all the students, if possible, to take that pre-writing course. It just gets you back into academic writing, how you'd write for an academic audience, and do research. So APA formatting, good research practice, going to original sources, these sorts of things. Those are the types of topics that you'll cover. And so that writing component is very important. The second one is on accounting. Everyone will need some accounting background because you'll have to take a writing class and an accounting class in the program at the very beginning of the program, but they're going to assume that you have some background, some ability and knowledge in accounting and in writing. So therefore, if you don't have confidence and clear experience and coursework in those areas, then you're either going to be asked and required to take those continuing studies, accounting and writing classes, or you're going to be, you're highly recommended. I will say, students come in the program, they tell us constantly, I'm so glad I took that, both because it got me in, I started writing and using Moodle and getting used to working in the format of the courses and the online piece. I started working on assignments. It got my writing. Now I understand APA and how to apply it, which is important in the program, and got some accounting background. And you're going to meet a bunch of other students from the program, because the majority of students in the program take those courses before they start. And it's just a great way, in a more informal basis, to get to know some of the other students prior to the program start date. So that's something that will come up. And for international students, there may be some special situations. And I know people will have questions, and the admissions advisors can talk with you about IELTS and English language requirements and how to meet those. We do have the opportunity for you to take a pre-program at Royal Roads campus prior to the start of our program. There is a session, I believe, offered this fall that will be available. So for those of you who are in that situation or interested in that, the admissions advisors can talk with you and explain how that works. Okay. Any other questions? Let's see. Looks like most of the other things have been addressed. So
looks like we have all the questions addressed. And as I mentioned, do not hesitate to reach out. We're here to help. We're here to support you. And thank you, Charles. And thank you, Andrea and Tracy and Kelsey, for all of your help and support in putting on today's session and for all of your insight. And we look forward to seeing everyone at the MBA on campus. Thank you.
okay, thank you to everyone. And yes, we look forward to seeing your applications and for working with you through the process. And this is our inaugural on-campus group. And so we really look forward to this very special cohort that will be joining us on campus in January. So thank you very much.
And this is a perfect opportunity to use the party emoji too, for the round of applause, because they're all, huh? Thank you, everyone. Oh, the emojis, they're the best part.